Today I'm gonna be doing a presentation on how to play fantasy football. It's a fun game you can play with your friends, your family, your coworkers. Actually creates a really good rapport with your coworkers if you do it like a fan relationship to make y'all closer as a unit if you play it. So getting started. We'll look at like what you should start off with is what type of league you want to join. Usually it's different types of leagues, like you got ESPN, CBS Sports Online. Usually when you pick the type of league you want to join, you have to make sure you choose the proper host. Like I said, the ESPN, the NFL.com, the CBS Sports Online, those are some of the more popular leagues that people choose. They choose them because a lot of times they don't charge you, they're free hosts. And I also suggest you conduct the proper research, make sure you go over, like they sell magazines like the CBS, stuff like that, where you can go in and it'll show you how to do it if you're doing it for the first time. Make sure you also look at statistics, people score, how many touchdowns people score, how many tackles they make depending on what type of league you're in. That always matters. Again, choosing your league, what style league will you be playing in? Will you be starting your own league? What type of scoring do you prefer? There's different types of scoring that they have. You have standard leagues. You have PPR leagues, which stands for points per reception. You can look up the different terms and what they mean. But basically, once you look them up, it just shows you, you pick the league that suits you the best. You don't always have to play for money. You can play for a prize, like a gift card to your favorite place, Walmart or whatever. So drafting your team is the next thing that you're going to do. You can always choose a cool name. Pick a cool place to draft. Like you can do it at a sports bar. You can do it at your house. You can have a live draft on something like this big screen right here. Is like usually something like this is like really cool. Always make sure you have enough time in between your picks, and always make sure that when you do draft, if you draft online, that you show up on time and make sure the type of board you use, you already have your picks in place. Make sure you do all your research before you start too. Don't just start and then it's kind of like everything won't come together. So make sure you have your list of players already picked out before you draft. Alright, you have different types of drafts. As you see here, you have the standard drafts, the auction drafts, the snake drafts, the linear drafts, and you have auto pick. Those are different types of drafts. The standard drafts are basically what most leagues do. It's 1 through 10 if you have 10 players. Auction drafts are where you have a certain amount of money, allotted money, and you can bid on each player, and the money is based on how good the player is, how much you spend on each player, but you can't spend too much. You have to make sure you spread your money out. Snake drafts where you start at the top, you go to the bottom, you start back at the top each round. You also have your auto pick where if you don't show up on time, which is a big thing, you make sure you show up on time. But if you don't, just in case, your computer will pick your players for you, which is something that you don't want. But that's why I put at the bottom, never be late, because if the computer picks your team, you end up in a bad situation with a team that you might not want. You have to get rid of all those players, which could be hard. So, also your league participants, if you're starting your own league or you're joining somebody else's league for the first time, make sure that you stay interested, because if you don't, you won't enjoy it as much. Also make sure you're fair, whichever league you're playing in, they're fair too. I always say pick a league that has cool prizes, or if you're going to do a league, make sure you have a cool prize to give out to the participants and make them come back for the next year. Make sure that your participants are educated on the league too, that way you don't have a whole bunch of people you're just taking advantage of them. And don't be afraid to give suggestions or allow your participants to give you suggestions if you're going to do your own league. Okay, managing your team. Once your team is drafted and put together, you want to go and sit down and look at your team and see what types of players you got, the types of players that you don't want. If you don't want those players, give it other people in your league, and you can trade, you can drop players, add players. Usually that's in your league rules, like you see it down here at the bottom. You see the waiver wire pickups. These are players that are free agents that didn't get drafted. If you see them, you can pick them up. There's nothing wrong with them. Also, you have the I would say also keep your updates on your phone, your things like that. If you at work, you go out for your lunch break, something like that, you can check your phone if you don't have your phone with you. Or certain players that come available, they'll send you a list on your phone, because you won't be the only person that's on top of it. You want to make sure that you're the first person to get a player if they do come available, because most people do check their phones and check their computers as often as possible. Okay. Alright, so at the end I say always make sure you have fun. That's the main part. If it's not fun, you're not going to be interested, you're not going to be as involved. But the more fun you have and the more you're interested in it, the more fun you're going to have. So, like I said, make sure you just have fun. And that's it. If you got some questions, now I take some questions. Like if you think about starting your own league or you think about playing another league, I take questions.
So you can mix and match players from any team.
Yes, you can pick any player from any team
to be a part of your team.
Right.
It's like draft day.
Right. And one suggestion that I make is, you see a lot of people, like you got Texas fans, Cowboys fans. What they'll do is they'll stack their teams full of certain players from that team, and usually that doesn't work, because you need to spread it out. You need to get players from different teams, because you have bye weeks and things like that. Where you know when you do mix and match, it does all. That way you don't have all your players on the bye week at the same time, and then you won't have any points.
Gotcha.
So you especially depending on what kind of point system you have.
Okay.
Any more questions? All right.
That's it.
Cool.